Jakarta. We are in the airport. It's time to end our little Indonesian adventure, our little Jakarta adventure, and head to Kuching in Malaysia. Kuching, by the way, is cat. That's what it means in Bahasa. Anyway, let's talk about Indonesia. It's a weird place. I genuinely think I loved it here, but there's many things that make it impossible to consider like as a place we could live. Not the least, it's the abysmal air quality. Both my wife and I, literally I've been all week, I've been coughing up all sorts of crap. My nose at the moment is just like a blocked mess. I feel tight around my sinuses. The air quality is shit on a stick. Absolutely disgusting. It's not very pedestrian friendly. It's a massive spread out city, and you need to know how the local transport works. There are buses, there are trains, there's MRTs, but there's a bit of tube, and obviously there's lots of motorbike taxis, and then there's little tuk-tuk type things, and there's Gojek and Grab, so you can get around. It's just the traffic is horrendous, and I did find Gojek a lot of time. It'll say the driver's 2 minutes away, and then they get further away, and then they cancel. That happened a lot. So the things I liked about it, the Chinatowns. We went to 2 Chinatowns. There's a new one, very modern, very new city, and like the whole area is just new houses, new shopping lots, new everything, and it's a place you could live. If it wasn't for the aforementioned air quality situation, I could live there. It's lovely. If you know this sort of region, it's sort of think Fort Bonifacio in Manila, or Iskandar area of Johor. Modern. Well, that's a really good cinnamon roll. Modern, well thought out, lots of space, definitely pedestrian friendly. It was the old Chinatown. Traffic jams, very difficult to get a taxi there because the traffic's so bad. Noisy, smelly, terrible pavements, but the real feel of the country, absolutely authentic and wonderful. We found a great place there called Coven Town, which was like a indoor food hall area. We loved it. That was really good. Then the shopping malls themselves. We've got a place called Grand Indonesia, which has got a West Mall and East Mall. And I've not been in a shopping mall in Malaysia that can compete in any way, shape or form with the absolute myriad of food options, the food halls. The food options, like if I take the biggest malls in Johor, we've got Paradigm Mall and Mid Valley Mall. Neither of them have that many great food options. They have a lot of okay food options and a food hall which is not great either. This place is just like food central, just everywhere you went. The amount of choices, the amount of different cuisines you could get your hands on. The staff were very polite, the staff were very good. On the whole, I found the staff to be smarter than in Malaysia. Like, people dress better. Things like security guards definitely dress better and much more helpful. I found the people to be incredibly friendly, much like the Malaysians are. And shopping malls are amazing. I mean, I'm sure they're not all like that, but we went in an old one called Thamrin City Mall, which my wife loved because it was just like a textile sort of wholesale area. So we loved that. I went for a few walks on my own in the mornings and had a look around. Yeah, the pavements are rubbish. They're trying to clean up the rivers, but the smaller rivers that lead into them are just terrible. But the main rivers they're definitely working on, for sure, which is good to see. And I like it. I mean, genuinely, I had a lovely time. Obviously, I've got good company, that helps. Our hotel was very nice. I'm not going to completely give it like a 5-star rating because it's not. It was a relatively cheap hotel, I think £30 a night roughly. Has a small swimming pool on top, which literally is just big enough for 2 people, but we were the only 2 people who ever used it that I saw. The downsides of it is there was a water bottle up on the side up there for 2 or 3 days, so they're obviously not cleaning up around that area. It seems to be an area where people, because there's a restaurant on the roof as well, just behind the door, and it seems to be an area where people go and smoke and just leave their cigarette ends, and nobody is clearing their cigarette ends up. They are just there day after day after day. So that side of it was bad. And our room, although our room was comfortable, the bed was delicious, the air conditioning was good, TV, everything fine, million channels on your TV. The shower was never hot, but it was always warm enough eventually. So the shower was okay, but the whole room was a bit dirty. We had lots and lots of, were they baby cockroaches, would you say?
I think so.
Baby cockroaches. We were killing things left, right and centre, so that wasn't pleasant. On the first night we tried the restaurant on the roof of the hotel. I had an oxtail soup type of fare, and my wife had rice with lamb. She didn't enjoy hers at all. Mine was okay. The broth in the soup was weak as can be, but the oxtail itself was delicious. Anyway, I spent the whole next day on the loo, so we didn't eat there again. My wife didn't enjoy hers, and it wasn't the most expensive meal we had on the trip. But that was because we went to a sushi place and we both had beers, and the sushi was top notch, so you pay for that. But it was the second most expensive meal we had by a long way, and it was the worst meal we had by a long way, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, pretty much. 673,000 rupiah for what was a stunningly large amount of sushi, very delicious sushi, 2 Bingtan beers. Sorry?
2 ice cold beers.
Yeah, 2 ice cold beers in a very comfortable setting, as opposed to sitting on a roof paying over 460,000 for 2 little meals and 2 average drinks.
And they were food hall.
Yeah, it was food hall quality food. So it wasn't the greatest. But the hotel overall, if all you're looking for, it's a cheap place to stay, you don't mind the odd bug, and I'm not going to say it's in the action because I don't think there is an area that's in the action. The problem is, such a big city that, depending on what you're interested in, you're going to need to be all over the city anyway, so it's as good a place as any. You get all the travel bloggers who tell you must go to Kota Tua. That's the historical Dutch administration buildings were built. It's interesting. It's obviously set up for tourists, it's clean, but it's not very exciting, honestly. It's maybe...
Most of it is under reconstruction.
Yeah, under renovation, but I don't have a problem with that. But it's probably no more than 2 hours of your time here. I mean, I can't really just see how you could justify spending more time than that. We spent much more time at the 2 Chinatowns and in the shopping mall even. They're much more interesting for us. At the Chinatown, you've got 2 Chinatowns. You've got Glodok and you've got Panjjuran PIK. Panjjuran PIK is the modern one. It's a long way out. It's on the water, near the waterfront, and it seems to me the air's a bit cleaner out there as well. There's the old one, Glodok, is noisy, smelly, dirty. I nearly broke my neck. I was walking down a pavement, or sort of near a pavement, wasn't we, with my wife. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going, so I was looking ahead of me, and there was a chain at, just below my knee level, which I walked straight into, in front of a lot of people that were watching and laughing. I walked straight into it. I didn't fall over, but it stopped me dead, and I can feel now that both my legs are very tender there, and it was quite a marking. Anyway, not 30 seconds later, some old guy came along and did the same as me, but fell flat on his face. So obviously it's a thing there, and No one gives a shit. Actually, imagine if you're old or in a wheelchair or something like that here, you are screwed in the main parts of the city because pavements are, even for an able-bodied person, it's like going on a hike. They're up, they're down, they're slope, they've got holes in them, like huge holes, they've got bits missing, yeah. So,
If there is a pavement.
yeah. On the bottom part, PIK, I mean, that was fine, perfect. Where there are pavements, there are pavements. But mainly it's like struggle, getting through the traffic, fight with the traffic to go anywhere. They have zebra crossings, but there's no lights on them, so literally you've just got to take your life in your own hands. No one will give way to you, you just have to be forceful and push through. Same with driving here. I wouldn't fancy driving here, to be honest. I think you have to be incredibly patient and yet passive aggressive. I mean, all I see here, they indicate they're going to turn into the lane next to them, and then they beep their horn and just move. And if your car's coming the other way, coming the same in the proper lane, and you're in the right, they'll just move into you anyway. So you got to move out the way. So everyone's kind of, there's a to and a fro in, but they always indicate that they will use the horn, and it seems to work. But yeah, you'd have to be, and they make their own lanes as well. Many times we came up to an intersection or traffic jam, and there'll be 2 lanes traffic, and then suddenly there'll be a 3rd lane.
They're in directions.
Yeah, and they're in directions. Yeah, they'll happily. We had a guy turn around on a one-way street, do a U-turn, then head the other way. Enjoy. Anyway, overall, it's not. I mean, I've been to Bali, but I don't really count that as Indonesia as such. It's completely different. We've been to an island called Batam, but it's more of a place where Singaporeans go to be overcharged by Indonesians, because that's what happens there. Basically, they're paying almost Singapore prices for Indonesian experience. So I wasn't really feeling that. So this is really my first real experience of mainland, if you like, Indonesia. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, genuinely, take away the air quality control, take me out to somewhere like PIK, where I'm sure it's kind of like it's the wealthier people. I could do it. I could live there. I couldn't, because we only get 30 days to come visit, but yeah, I could definitely stay there longer term. I enjoyed it. So, would I recommend Jakarta? Yes. If you've got breathing problems, no. But I would not recommend really more than 7 days, because both of us at the moment are starting to really suffer because of breathing in so much crap all week. So there you go. Jakarta, done. I can't give you a top 10 list. We never had a top 10. I can't give you a what to do list. I've told you the things I enjoyed, and that's kind of it. If you like shopping, this is a shopping heaven. Absolutely. Right. You take care. Oh, food-wise. There's the one, isn't it? Satay is by far the best I've ever had. Here's the thing. I had McDonald's twice, and it was so good. I mean, like, so much better than I get in Malaysia. The staff, the experience, everything, and the burgers. Even my wife agrees, and we're not big like burger eaters, but oh my, it was very, very good, wasn't it? Great flavour. We also had Popeyes. I'd never had Popeyes before, so I did that. I wasn't keen on the Popeyes burger, but the Popeyes chicken was delicious. And I had a Carl's Jr. yesterday. We like Carl's Jr. in Johor. It's very good. I think, again, the one I had last night was incredibly tasty. I don't know if it was better, but it was definitely very tasty. So food-wise, we didn't really do a lot of local food. We didn't. Well, we had the food hall experience, and that was okay. But really, we were just going for chicken rice, duck rice, pork rice. You had the Taiwanese style food.
And the soup.
Soup, yeah. So we didn't really go deeply into Indonesian food. Never mind. Okay. See you all have one for hours. You take care.